Cheddar's not just famous for cheese though, Gav. It's also known for someone who slices bowling attacks apart.
Yep, Jos Buttler, the England wicketkeeper. And we're here at the Cheddar Cricket Club where it all started for young Jos.
And we're going to meet the guy who saw that talent for the very first time at the ground where he did that.
Yep, Bron Purkiss is his name, and hopefully he has some very good tales for us. So, let's go meet him, Bharat.
Yeah, as I say, we had an old pavilion there which was more like a shed. And I can first remember Jos when he was 6, so it would be the summer of 1997. And it wasn't even a proper practice, he was just knocking the ball back to people.
Right.
And we had an overseas Aussie player then, Wayne Geber. He'd been in 1991, he came back in 97. He has been, I think, the personal fitness trainer to David Warner since then. I don't know if he still is.
Right.
But this is honest God's truth. Jos was hitting the ball back there, little 6-year-old, he was very small. And Wayne said, that lad will play for England. And that is honestly true. So,
and for an Aussie to come and say that.
Aussie to come and say that, yeah. He then played for the under-11s when he was about 8, I think, 7 or 8, because his mum used to coach the under-11s and all the under-13s. I can't quite remember which. For a couple of years she ran the team. He played for them, he played for under-13s, he played up to under-15s. But then, by then it was obvious he was far too good for a club like this. He went to play for a team called Glastonbury, who used to be very good, they're not so good now.
Oh, right.
And then he got a sports scholarship to Taunton School. So he then went to Taunton, and that's where his career developed, and he went on from there to Somerset. But, you know, he's a very nice bloke. He's never forgotten his roots. His mother's still a vice president of the club. He often comes back. Last summer we had a match where we invited our people who donate to the club, what we call our vice presidents, and he came along with his mum. That was about 4 days after he'd scored a not-out 100 to beat India, I think it was, at Old Trafford. England were in a one-day game. They were chasing about 220, and I think they were something like 115 for 8. And Jos was still in, and Adil Rashid joined him.
Yeah, I remember that.
And he made a not-out 100. Well, certainly one of his best one-day innings. Maybe not the fastest, but certainly one of his best. And yeah, a few days later, he's down here with his sister, and nieces and nephews came to see us. He's as we say, feet firmly on the ground. Extremely nice young man.
So these were the actual... Well,
no, we've changed these now.
This
has changed. We've got the concrete in now.
Okay, so before that, but they were in the same location.
In the same location.
This is where Jos Buttler first picked up a bat, or
that's right,
and started
playing cricket
and started doing wonders for the country.
Yeah.
And how proud does that make you?
Oh, it makes the club very proud. And as we won't be able to open the door, but I'll show you. He's given us 2 shirts.
Yep.
One says Cheddar in England, and the other one says Cheddar in Somerset.
Fantastic.
No, I was always going to say he played for a second 11, and we played down at Taunton, a club. I forget which club.
Yep.
It was our seconds against their thirds.
Right.
And he came in at number 9.
Number 9. Okay.
I was umpiring, and he was a very small lad.
Yep.
So the captain called all the fielders in, this lad can't do anything. And this is, again, honestly true. The first ball, he just hit it straight over mid-on for 4.
But as a small kid, he still had that power.
And the timing.
Was he always a bulky sort of like?
Not really, no, not really. He was, I'd say stocky, but not real the power. But he was always very good at, even as a youngster, at working a ball through mid-wicket. You know, whipping his wrists, and between mid-on and mid-wicket, he scored a lot of runs there, even when he was very young.
But you also called him a nice bloke. And that's something that a lot of people refer to, or that's what they talk about when the name Jos Buttler pops up.
It still comes across, I think, doesn't it?
Right, exactly.
So when he was recently, he was what would they say, mankaded in the Indian Premier
Oh,
League
yes,
by,
yes.
I forget who the bowler
Ashwin.
was. Oh, it was Ashwin.
Yes.
Yeah. And Jos was furious, wasn't he?
Right.
And that is very unlike him.
Oh, so was that almost like the first time you'd seen him lose his cool?
No, there was one other time, I think. There was one other time, I forget, where people were surprised that he was absolutely stewing, because he's pretty even-tempered guy. And you can see on the telly when you're watching. Yeah.
So like, what else about Jos Buttler, the young man, do you remember apart from his cricket?
Very good tennis player.
Yep.
I think he was a junior champion in Somerset.
Yeah.
Very good tennis player. Very good rugby union player. He was just an absolute natural.